Hi guys, it's Steve. I am back in Vienna after a cello recital and a violin recital, uh, almost in the same weekend, which was really fun. And I'm looking at Clair de Lune by Debussy, which is a all-time favorite of everyone, I guess. So I just had an idea actually because this is a piece that no one plays the right rhythm. It's actually a little awkward if you really take a close look at it. And I'm not sure many people really pay attention to this. And it kind of brings up this situation where we practice in different ways. Sometimes I talked before about using the metronome. Sometimes you use it and sometimes you don't. So it's important to have that balance, to not always practice with a metronome. It can often it can be a bad thing because you end up losing a lot of the, well, really what music is all about, which is just the spontaneity of it and the flexibility, which it's hard to have with the metronome. Of course, you can have a little, um, but if you're just completely loose without any rhythmic structure, then that's also a problem. So it's important to practice in both ways. So I'm just going to show a really quick example here. This piece is maybe a lot of times, um, I get the impression people just play without really paying attention to the rhythm. So if we really pay attention to the rhythm, we find something special. We start on a silent, so it's and three, 1, 2, 3, and then comes the next part. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's the second part of the first part. So we can divide this into two parts, probably. Sort of, yeah. So now here's something that a lot of people won't listen to is this. And that's important. So we need this 1, 2, 3, 1. And hear this. Now when you're practicing this, there's a good chance that you'll have to change the rhythm to have time to hear it. So it will probably sound something like this. But then you screw up with the rhythm. So you have to practice both ways. You have to do what you have to do to take the time to hear everything you want to hear, sometimes without paying any regard to the rhythm at all. And then, now we have another one. And then again. So it's important to hear all the suspensions. So we have here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here, this. And then once you've done this, then come back, and then somehow you have to find your own middle path in here. So let's see how that goes. But I think what's really important in here is to feel the first beat. It's 1, 2, 3. And then usually, I suppose, if I listen to this after recording it, I'll probably find that the sound is not very shaped and there's lots more work to do, as always happens when you record yourself. So it's important to find that transparent sound. Because it's andante très expressif, but it's also pianissimo with con sordina, which means with the mute. So it's really soft, but it has to be expressive at the same time. So I'm not really feeling this first beat now. What's important is also the second beat, actually. 1, 2, 3. Now 1. Maybe when I actually finish learning this piece, I'll re-record it for you guys, and I'm sure I'll have a lot of things to say. So here, what we have is there's a rapport between the rhythm at the end of this bar and this bar, which it has to be brought out. It usually isn't. Probably the bass in the left hand is important. And here what's important is the difference between the first and the second one in the last chord. We have, and the second time we have, so we have, and then the second time we have, instead of, so it's a little different. There's something very different in the character. This one is kind of waiting for what comes next.